Indonesia has become the catalyst that has pushed this cruel trade to the brink of extinction, and that is because good people like you expressed their horror and disgust and outrage to the federal government and spoke as one voice. And as a result, caring politicians such as Adam Bandt responded by putting legislation forward to ban the live trade.
Yes.
This is the power of our voice, and why I don't doubt that if Julia Gillard was to allow a conscience vote on Thursday and free politicians up from party policy, that we would see an end to live export, which is why we must make the most of every moment leading up to Thursday to call on her and Tony Abbott to allow this to go to a conscience vote. During my years policing and since as an animal advocate, I have seen so clearly the huge advantage that we have over animals, simply because we have a language that we can understand and we can call out for help. The fact that animals cannot and that they cannot tell us what they're enduring is used mercilessly against them by the live trade. I've often felt that if a single animal, as they were being loaded onto these ships, could turn and say, "Don't abandon me. Please, I don't want to go," they would reach even the most hardened conscience with the wrongs of this trade. Some 200 years ago, another shipboard trade in living beings was defended on the same basis, on the basis of profits and the schoolyard defence. If we don't do it, someone else will. This terrible trade and the victims of this trade were also considered lesser beings. It took the extraordinary efforts of British politician William Wilberforce and his supporters to end the slave trade in Britain and to awaken a nation to the fact that profits should never come at the cost of our ethics, and that acknowledging the interests of others, no matter how different they may be from us, is at the very core of human morality. It should be no surprise that this great man also founded the SPCA in Britain. You know, every civilising step in human history has been opposed and ridiculed before being accepted as self-evident. Human ethics have only continued to evolve because people in each generation, wonderful people just like you, have refused to accept being different as the justification for cruelty and for indifference, causing unnecessary suffering to innocent living beings who, just like us, feel fear and pain simply because we have the power to do so, can never be right, and deep down every Australian knows this. Why do animals matter? Well, they matter simply because they're living, breathing, feeling beings that share this world with us. And they matter because their innocence and defencelessness challenges the finest elements of our humanity to come forth and protect them from harm, which is why you are here today. This is not just about ending live export and a cruel trade. This is about our humanity. This is not about animal rights. This is about ending human wrongs. This is a trade that will be condemned by history. The Gillard government therefore has a choice. They can be remembered as a government that supported this trade, or they can be celebrated as a government that ended it. As William Wilberforce said to his government, You may choose to look away, but you can never again say that you did not know. Every federal politician needs to hear from voting Australians this week to call on them on behalf of the non-voting Australians who were also born and bred into their protection to represent their interests as well. No email, no phone call, no letter, no petition you lodge this week will be in vain. Regardless of the outcome of this vote, we will have taken a huge step this week towards ending one of the cruelest trades this world has ever known by making sure that every politician sees this is now an issue of political significance. One of the most important messages that came through from William Wilberforce's life, his efforts and his extraordinary achievements is that the voice calling for an end to cruelty must never waver. It must never become disheartened. It must always keep revealing the truth. Because in the end, when good people unite, they can and will end even the greatest of injustices. I have witnessed over the past 8 years the most terrible suffering in the Middle East and Indonesia, and in not being able to help those animals or save them, all that has been left to me to do is to make them a solemn promise that their suffering will not be in vain. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for helping me to fulfil those promises. I have no doubt that one day you will be able to tell your friends and family and children and grandchildren that you played a key role in ending one of the cruelest trades this world has ever known. You know, animals may be voiceless, but if we listen, we can and will hear them. Their suffering is calling on our humanity to awaken. Julia Gillard, even if you can't hear the voice of the animals, then hear us.